Good morning and welcome. My name is Omolara Oriye, and I'm a legal practitioner working with the Women Empowerment and Legal Aid organization. It's an organization that seeks to protect and promote the rights of women and children in Nigeria. You're welcome to our weekly program where we educate women and children on their rights under the Nigerian law. I have here with me this morning Mrs. Fumi Falana. She's a legal practitioner and an expert at matters concerning women and children and their rights in Nigeria. She's the director of Women Empowerment and Legal Aid, an organization that promotes and protects the rights of women and children in Africa. And she's here this morning to enlighten us and educate us about the rights of children born out of wedlock. So, Mrs. Falana, children born out of wedlock are usually labeled bastards and disenfranchised. I want you to educate us this morning about the rights they have under the Nigerian law.
Thank you, Omolara. Under the Nigerian laws, all the laws applicable in this country, there is nothing like a bastard. Every child is legitimate as long as the father acknowledges the paternity of that child. As a matter of fact, Section 38 of the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria provides that no child shall be discriminated against on the basis of the circumstance of birth. In other words, that child that was given birth to outside wedlock, where there is no marriage between the two parents, is not a bastard. He or she is legitimate. The law also presumes that where there is a subsisting marriage between a man and a woman, any child born by that woman is presumed to be the child of the man. You may claim that your wife has a lover outside, but it is a rebuttable fact which you need to go and prove. But the law assumes that as long as there's a subsisting marriage and you live together, the marriage that is born in the process of your marriage is that of the man. And usually you will also say in Yoruba, people say, Akimbere ibiti adelebo ti gboyun. That also has a link with the law of this country. The law will also assume that you are the father of that child. Now, under Section 14 of the Constitution, a child is entitled to parental care. And that is why any child that is born without a marriage between the father and the mother is expected to be taken care of by the father. Now, if you now have an allegation of infidelity against your wife, and you are not sure the child is yours as a father, you can go for a DNA test. And when a DNA test is taken, it is the result is presented before the court. The court now determines who is the father of the child. But without a DNA test, the law presumes that you are the father. And so you must take care of that child. Now, there is a law in Lagos State, that is Section 277 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State. It states that any man that impregnates, and so many people are not aware of this law. This law has been existing for 2 years now. Any man that impregnates a woman should be compelled under this law to take care of that pregnancy. Both antenatal and postnatal care of this pregnant woman must be taken care of. The expenses must be paid by this man. Either there is a marriage or there is no marriage. And so many men that impregnate young ladies and disappear. This is a law that stipulates that whoever does this is punishable. When found guilty, is punishable with a jail term of 2 years. But unfortunately, people hardly take men to court on such issues. And that is why we have continued to see irresponsible fathers, irresponsible men that impregnate and disappears. So this is an eye-opener to you get there. If you have been unfortunate to be impregnated by a man and the man disappears or denies responsibility, you can take him or to court, and the court will compel him under the law to provide for your postnatal and antenatal cares. But be that as it may, I want to remind men at home that you are responsible. Under the law, you should be responsible for the parental care of the children that are given birth to, even though you did not marry their parents or their mother, sorry. And so, for a woman who has been left with that child alone, please, you can report the case. You can take the man to court. You have the rights under the law. And the child, under the child's right law. Now, the child's right law is a law for the right to provide for the human rights and all the rights, comprehensive rights of a child under the Nigerian law. We have the Child's Rights Act, which is a federal law. Now, we also have the Child's Right Law, which is a Lagos state law. Under this law, section 16 says that every child is entitled to the provision of parental care. And so we want to implore people listening to us at this time that that child that was born outside wedlock is not a bastard. He or she has all the rights that the brothers, his or her brothers, may have in the home who were born inside wedlock. It is not the fault of the child that has been born outside wedlock, and so he or she must not be made to suffer the ugly consequences of that. As long as the father acknowledges paternity, he or she is legitimate. Nigerian laws, all the laws applicable in Nigeria, all the laws applicable in this country, Nigeria, do not recognize what we call bastard. And so no child must be labeled bastard. No child must be discriminated against. And also, we want to remind you that it is your responsibility to take care of children that are given birth to, that you have given birth to. Parents have those responsibilities to provide socioeconomic needs. You have the responsibility to take them, to enroll them in school under section 15. Your responsibility to enroll them in school is backed up by section 15 of the Child's Right Law. And if you fail to do that, it can earn you a jail term of 6 months if you are found guilty. And you are also expected to provide shelter. You are expected to provide food. You are expected to provide daily needs for the proper upkeep of the children that have been given birth in your home. Now, we want to remind you that whichever way you train these children, they grow up to become your future and the future of this country. Until next week, we want to remind you, no child is a bastard in that home. We want to remind you, you have the responsibility to provide for your child. Either that child was given birth to in the home or outside wedlock. And for young men or men, either you are young, you are old, you impregnated a woman, the law imposes a duty on you to take care of the woman both antenatal and postnatal. And you can also be found guilty and be liable to a jail term of 2 years if you refuse to do this. Until next week, we want to say have a wonderful time in the home. Happy weekend. Treat your girl child well. Take care of the children born unto you. They are the future of this country, and they are the future of your family. Thank you. God bless you.
So you've heard everything from Mrs. Falana. She has helped you understand that no child is labeled bastard, and the law provides that you take care of your children and your words. I hope you have learned something today. See you next week.